What's up, everybody?
Hey.
Hey.
You know what time it is?
Yeah.
Subscribe, rate, comment,
Like,
like.
follow, all that.
Anyway, now that that's out the way.
Now that that's out the way, we got a spooky episode here
You
for
know
you.
what the spookiest thing ever is?
What?
April in Chicago.
Yeah, it's been. This
It was
wasn't
70
scary.
degrees yesterday.
Now it's drizzling. Yeah.
Spoopy, scary.
Right. Right now we in Lincoln Park.
We are.
Right outside the Lincoln Park Zoo. A beautiful area. This is North Pond. We walk our dog here. Sarah walks our dog here.
Yeah, let's get that right.
Yeah.
Let's get that right. There you
Hey,
go,
look, I
walk
got
shit.
you. Oh, don't worry, I got you. No, I walk around the block. But
You walk down one block, not even all the way.
that's a walk nonetheless. Anyway.
False.
Anyway. So reason why we are here is because we're talking about scary, haunted type of things in Chicago, and we know as Chicagoans, we know that that's a thing.
There's a lot.
There's a lot around here.
So we might have, if you watched last week's episode, you would have heard a kind of like a preemptive spoopy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Spooky.
Spooky.
Yep.
Spoopy is
Spooky,
funnier.
yeah, right.
Story where lyric opera was also believed to be
Haunted.
haunted. They had ghost hunters go
yes.
into the opera. So there's a lot of haunted stories in Chicago. There's actually a ton of tours that you can take, like a haunted Chicago tour.
Yeah. Matter of fact, reason why Lincoln Park is haunted, right, is because I don't know if you follow the podcast, we've mentioned it, but this was Chicago Cemetery, exactly where Lincoln Park Zoo is. There's hundreds, if not more, thousands.
They
maybe.
don't even know how many.
Don't even know how many
bodies.
people have been buried in the zoo because obviously after Chicago fire,
They just didn't give a fuck.
right, you know what I mean? Like just start building and putting stuff over and make a garden out of it. so that's kind of like why we are here. But we're gonna explore one place in particular that we've been to already with a guest that we've talked to already. And
It's super spoopy.
yeah, right. So that's what we're doing today. Let's go talk about more scary stuff. Let's get it.
Let's do it.
Yo, welcome. We are back again with Geoffrey Baer.
Now you're like the most
Third, he's the second most.
Frequent.
Second most.
Second most frequent
who's the
guest.
most?
Chicago, Shy Food Local. Shy Food Local, y'all better get on it, man. Like, Geoffrey Baer is coming fast with it. So, welcome back.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here.
Yeah, the second season of Chicago's most beautiful places, most beautiful places in Chicago. That was a success.
That was
right?
so good.
Oh, thank
That
you
was
very
so
much.
good. Yeah.
We talked about it last time about how you switched it up a little bit and is more about the
People.
more people based. Fantastic.
Yeah,
You know, like
so
that was
good.
like that was a good change, right?
Yeah.
It was a good change, a little different, but it really got the point across, you know, in the way you wanted it to. So
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate
All
it.
your projects are awesome. So I'm really excited about this one.
Yes.
Because we've never actually done like a spooky episode on Chicago.
Yeah.
And I know there's part of the reason is because it felt so overwhelming. There's so much like haunted stuff, murder stuff.
Yeah.
Like where do you even begin?
Yeah.
But how did you, why are you doing this show? Also, I was saying in the previous shot, I said April is the scariest month in Chicago only because the difference in seasons, like you
Weather.
can get snow and then you can get 70 degrees.
Oh,
So
that's
so
interesting.
good time to,
yeah, because it's very gloomy.
yeah, super gloomy.
Well, so we, most of my shows are, about Chicago history, Chicago architecture, and we're just always looking for kind of new ways to tell the story.
Yeah.
And my boss, our vice president of production, we were in a meeting trying to figure out what we should do next, and she said, "How about Chicago mysteries?" And we were all like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
we don't know what that is, but it sounds good."
Sounds really good.
Right.
And Shelley, our vice president of production, just, trusted us, and she's like, "You'll figure it out."
Yeah.
And so, we went out and did a lot of research, and
Yeah.
so there are unsolved mysteries, there are solved mysteries. Some of it's true crime, some of it is paranormal, and a lot of it is just strange oddities that raise questions. Some of them are very familiar,
Yeah.
and some of them you never heard of.
Yeah.
So, first we're at the Hull House
Yeah.
dining hall, dining room,
Yes.
whatever you want to
Yeah,
call
the
it.
dining room, yeah.
Dining room. So we did an episode on the Hull House, but we were only in the house. So we've never seen this room before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is one of the ones that's like featured on the show, right?
Right. So the house, so
Right.
the dining hall or dining room is a separate building. Actually, I just learned it was moved.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it
Yeah.
used to be attached to the
Moved
house.
and rotated.
The house we're seeing kind of out those windows
Yeah.
there is the historic Jane Addams Hall house, the settlement house where the social reformer, helped the immigrant population in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But at one point there became this myth
Right.
of this devil baby
Devil baby.
that was living in Hull House, like a devil baby.
Yeah.
And Jane Addams actually wrote about it.
Oh, really?
She did?
Yeah.
Wow.
So these people were just lined up around the block. They were demanding to come into Hull House and see the devil baby.
Who started this
Yeah, right.
rumor?
Right. So the story was, and it's interesting because it depends on the ethnicity and the religion of the teller. It had several versions, but in the Catholic version, a devout mother married a devout woman married an atheist man.
Of course. Auto double.
Yeah,
baby.
right.
There you go. And so he took a religious symbol off the wall and he smashed it on the ground and he said to his wife, I would rather have a devil in my house than she's pregnant. So I'd rather have a devil in my house than a child.
Holy
and
cow.
then she gives
My
birth,
God.
but she gives birth to this little devil baby with pointed ears and a horn and a tail. And he takes the cigar out of the father's mouth and starts smoking it.
No, you're
Oh,
joking.
jeez.
So they don't know what to do with it.
So cool.
So they grab it and they bring it to Hull House because this is the neighborhood,
Yeah.
Yeah.
help
the community,
center.
yeah.
And the people at Hull House think, well, this is just the story. They take it to a church to try to get it baptized, but it escapes and they catch it again.
The baby,
and so
the
then
newborn
yeah.
escapes, yeah.
So then they don't know what to do with it, so they lock it in the attic. And so supposedly there's a devil baby locked in the attic in.
Has
Hull
anybody
House.
seen? Will we see that on the show? Like,
Does
Well,
the devil baby make an appearance?
Our art department did a really great job. Reed,
I can't wait
Reed
to
Marvine did this whole like comic book treatment of particularly the baby smoking the cigar.
Oh,
which is
that's
pretty
so funny.
And Jane Addams came to see it as a. She thought she was fascinated by these neighborhood myths,
Yeah.
and she came to see it as a kind of a way of empowering the women, the powerless women in the neighborhood. Because here's something that wasn't their fault,
Right.
Right.
and they were always blamed for all the faults in the
Right.
family and burdened with all the burdens of the family, and here the husband caused all the mischief. So she wrote a whole article about it in Atlantic Magazine.
Wow.
That's amazing because that story is old. It's not one of those
Yeah.
new Chicago type of things. The whole house was built in 1860s, and so
That's
for that
wild.
story to be around so
long?
that long.
Well, I didn't know about the story at all. Came up in
Yeah,
our
I've never
research.
heard of
So
it. That's so cool.
And there are a lot of stories of haunting in Hull House. And Nadia Moraga, who's was our host and the person we interviewed from Hull House, she believes in some of the hauntings. She said
She's
there
here
are
all the time,
People feel spirits in Jane
I
Addams'
believe it.
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's like a body sleeping in the bed. Did you see it?
no.
Not a body.
Okay. I was like, oh God, I didn't know that.
Like a depression or something in it.
Kinda.
Oh well, she saw it. I didn't. This is new to me.
It
We were
feels like-
sitting right in the bedroom too, so
Yeah.
this is news
And
to
you
me.
felt
there's-
like you saw
yeah,
something?
but then there's also like the mannequin wearing her outfit,
Yeah,
which is
that
always
was kinda
creepy to
creepy.
me.
Yeah, that was creepy. With the FBI thing right
Wasn't
there
it like
too.
a black outfit?
It was like
Yeah.
black and purple or something.
Well, there's also supposedly outside of Hull House, there's a place where a fountain used to be, which Nadia explains in our show that it was a portal to hell.
What is going on?
It's a lot of Catholics in this
Yeah,
house.
right. What
These
is like
stories.
that is.
That
When
is
did that
so
story
funny.
start? Like,
I don't know the origin of that
okay.
story.
Well, we'll talk to Nadia.
Okay,
We'll
so
watch it.
what's like your favorite story that you heard that you also didn't know about that kind of like blew your mind?
Well, so there's a true crime story. Adolf Lutgert, this is 1897, I believe. He was the Chicago sausage. These, Germany was. We had the stockyards. We had all these German immigrants.
Yeah.
It was up in Lakeview. He was the sausage king of Chicago. So he had the big sausage factory up on Diversity. The building is still there. It's a condo building now.
Okay.
And one day his wife disappeared. And it's
no.
not a Sweeney Todd story, but
Even the sausage.
well, no, that
Okay.
was the rumor, and actually, for a long time after that, people in Chicago, sausage sales went down.
Yeah. I'd imagine. I'm not
Yeah.
eating like
The best pies in London.
Right.
Kind of. Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. But so he was having affairs. He was not a good guy. The business was in trouble. The wife was really kind of unhappy with all of this, and they were getting a lot of fights. And then one night, he spends the night. He was also spending a lot of nights in the factory. And after they have a big argument, he spends the night in the factory. She's gone. And there are these big vats in the factory basement filled with this very caustic material. So the belief was that he murdered her and then dissolved her body in the basement of this sausage factory.
jeez.
And it's a whole true crime thing.
Wow.
Like the police empty the vat and they find like a little piece of bone. And it's the first time ever that forensic evidence is used in a trial because they got an anthropologist to say that this looked like it was a human foot bone. But they also found 2 gold rings in the bottom of the vat with Louisa Lutger's initials on them. So it was kind
So
of
this
a big.
definitely.
So
he definitely
He was
dissolved her.
convicted.
yeah, he was convicted.
He was convicted. And so we were
Wow.
allowed to film. They've never allowed a camera crew in there before.
Oh wow.
So we were allowed into the basement to film, and it is extremely creepy down there.
Is
It's a
it?
very nice, loft condo building, but
Yeah.
the basement, super creepy.
Oh my God.
And then there's a whole ghost component to it. So then we got
Yeah.
this ghost researcher to join us in the basement, and he came with all these beeping and whirring little
Ghostbuster, huh?
gadgets,
Yeah.
and we went around the basement looking for.
Don't spoil anything,
Louisa's
but did
ghost.
it
Did it
anything beep?
Yeah. At one point.
Do you believe in ghosts?
I don't. I believe that there is an infinite array of reality that we don't
Understand or know,
understand
yeah.
at all.
right.
And I think that people have a way of anthropomorphizing things. So,
Right.
well, that must be like the spirit of someone.
Right.
Maybe that's true, but I think undoubtedly there are other sort of dimensions and realities that we can't even begin to comprehend with our minds.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so we try to kind of make it something we can understand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Like, oh,
I
that's a
agree.
ghost.
Yeah.
You put a devil baby story
Right,
together.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
to tell
I
us.
But who
feel-
knows? I could be
Right.
totally wrong.
Right.
Maybe there are
Right.
ghosts.
I feel
Yeah.
like we don't know, I don't think anyone knows enough to be like, definitely there is
Yes.
or definitely there isn't. Like, I
Right.
don't know.
Right.
If you believe in it, great.
Right.
That's, I mean, not
Maybe
great,
that's
'cause,
actually how I should say it. Rather
Yeah.
than I don't believe it, I
Don't know
don't
enough.
quite know what
Right.
it is.
Yeah.
Well, what is so? How many locations in this do you go to and visit?
There are 12 stories, but actually
nice.
one person who, I don't know, maybe you've had her on your show, Jessica Mlinarik, who's a kind of specializes in offbeat oddities all around
No, we
Chicago.
haven't had her yet, but we sounds
She's
like
great.
we need to.
Yeah, photographer and sort of explorer, and she's written a couple books. She took us to 3 places, so I guess technically there are,
9.
well, there were 12, but technically
Oh.
there are 14 or 15. 'cause
Yeah.
Oh,
she
wow.
takes us to 14, I guess, because she takes us to 3 of them.
Okay. Oh wow.
yeah.
Oh wow. So she's well documented. She's fully invested in this.
Yeah. Well, like she had like 3. We did like sort of 3 mini segments with her.
Okay. What is the most believable thing to you in all of
It has
this?
to be like the murder
Yeah.
ones,
Right. What is?
The
But aside
most-
from the 2 that we talked about, what's
Yeah.
the most?
Well, right, because there are some that are just
myths.
myths. One like the devil baby, or there's another one about a UFO that was sighted at O'Hare, and that's
That
just
wasn't that long ago, right?
2006.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now now that they've confirmed that there's been UFO sightings and other
Parts of the
beings,
world, yeah.
that might be believable.
Well, it's who knows?
Right, who knows?
So,
yeah.
and I mean, so that would be more in the realm of like, who knows,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's pretty crazy, that the Tribune transportation reporter John Hilkovich broke the story because it was not just some crackpot saying, "Oh, look, it's a flying saucer."
Right.
Yeah.
These were like airline and FAA professionals. So the FAA said nothing to see here, but then Hilkovich FOIA'd the air traffic control tapes, and we have them in our show. You hear the air traffic control tower and the ramp walkers say, "Hey, now we're over here in Concourse C. Did you guys see that flying disc over gate Charlie 17?" And then the tower's like, "Yeah, somebody else was talking about that." And then a pilot whose plane was parked at Charlie 17, C-17, put his head out the window and looked up, and he saw it. It was a gray disc hovering over C-17, like 1,400 feet, and then it shot straight up.
What?
And made a hole in the clouds, so you could see blue sky through it.
And they saw, and you hear them talking about this.
Yeah, they're talking about it.
Why is that like that's creepy to me right now? Like I've never seen anything suspicious like that. But hearing this,
You've seen like video of it, but you've never
I
seen
guess
it in
I've
real
seen
life.
it, but like video can be doctored. You know what I mean?
course.
Yeah, video can be doctored. I'm an editor, so I can.
Yeah,
you know, like,
exactly.
yeah.
You can make anything believable.
You can make anything believable. But
So anyway, this is a very long way of answering your question. Like that's, who knows what that is. But then some of the other stories in the show, when you say like what's the most believable, they're things that we are able to document and sort of solve and know and understand. So, there is the world's first nuclear reactor is buried in a forest preserve.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys knew about that.
oh, we knew about that. Yeah. There's fragments all over Chicago also of it. It's sitting around.
Really?
Yeah. There's like pieces inside the University of Chicago in the special library
Collection.
Collections, yeah.
They have it in a case. There's a piece of the pile, Chicago Pile 1.
Pile 1.
And then where were we at also where they have another little fragment we saw? Go back and watch it, but we found it. There's another fragment somewhere else in the city. Yeah. So, but the main piece is obviously buried.
Yeah, it was just buried in the forest preserve. So, I mean, obviously that's documented, and Jessica Mlinarik takes us to see that. There's a really good one. It's one of my favorite ones, actually.
Please tell us.
So, there's a sculpture down at the University of Chicago, like an abstract modern sculpture. It's about 12 feet high, and it's 3 pieces, and like it's a sort of a halo, and then these 2 tall pieces sort of leaning in towards each other, and a kind of a curving piece at the bottom. It's bronze.
Okay.
And the urban myth is that on May Day, which is the international holiday of the worker, communism, right? If the sun is shining, these figures come together in such a way that they cast a shadow of a hammer and sickle on the ground, which is, of course, the international symbol of communism.
Yep.
So that this was like secretly the sculptor was sending this
A beacon
message,
to,
sympathetic to communism.
Yeah.
And there are lots of pictures of it, with the sun shining on it, and it sort of looks like a hammer and sickle. So we went and we got the artist, whose name is Virginio Ferrari. I think he's in his 80s.
Yeah.
The sweetest guy. I just loved interviewing this guy.
I bet that was
And I said, so, this is the myth. Is it true? And he said, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. But we don't want to just take his word for it.
Right.
So we probed it a little bit, and in the end, it turns out it wasn't even supposed to be oriented that way to begin with. It was supposed to be, all the pieces were supposed to be the other way around. But when the architect saw it, he said it's too close to the sidewalk. It's going to block the sidewalk. So he made Ferrari turn it around the other way. So it would never have even cast a shadow like that, except that the university made him turn it around the other way.
Wow. That's a legendary
really
story.
cool story.
Because
that's,
you get to the base of it. Yeah. That's amazing.
I love that. I love that. I can't wait to watch this show.
Yeah, I know. Literally everything that we've told you several times. Not going to keep telling you, but this is just another one, just to kind of there's a lot of myths that we have. We were just in the where were we at? The Lyric Opera House. And we were in the props department, and apparently they've had a ghost hunter in there also.
They say the opera is haunted.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny that you're saying that because that is in my next show. Not The Haunting.
Oh.
My next show is called Chicago Works, and
Okay.
it's all about all this sort of behind the scenes of Chicago.
Yeah.
Like inside the scoreboard at Wrigley Field,
Yeah.
or changing over the United Center from basketball to hockey. But we went to the Lyric and we were in the prop shop.
Wow.
Showing like the behind the scenes
Yeah.
of the prop. Did you see the box in there called Body Parts?
Yes, we did.
The leg hanging out,
we
and
did.
it looks like it's severed.
We literally just.
Oh, it's so creepy.
Wow.
Did you go to the wig shop?
Yes.
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 You did?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're doing. You scooped me.
You know, we won't tell anything.
Totally scooped me.
Except we're not getting paid PBS money.
Right, right. You know what? You know
Oh,
what's,
PBS money. Yeah,
Public
PBS
television
money.
money.
you know what's ironic about it is that we are late on releasing that video. This was literally the episode before this one.
Yeah, literally.
And we
We just-
haven't
we
released
just
the
did it.
video.
Did they tell you we were there?
No, they didn't say anything.
That
But
is
we
so
also-
Maybe
weird.
they thought they didn't want to mention it because like the show isn't out yet. They
Yeah,
thought
maybe
you
the-
didn't
you know,
wanna
in
say
So
the
they
it.
make those wigs one hair at a time.
Yeah.
Did you see them
So
making those
We didn't
wigs?
see
Did you, go
him.
into, did you go into the what is it called? The Edison
Edison.
boiler room?
They wanted us to go in there. We didn't shoot in there.
It's
Oh,
creepy.
that's-
Creepy. That's creepy.
It's creepy.
Well, because Samuel Insull built the building.
Oh,
he
yeah,
was
yeah,
the head
yeah.
of Commonwealth Edison.
Right.
Yeah.
So, hey, might as well put the
Might as well,
substation in
yeah.
the basement.
You wanted to like fund the opera through all these like little
Yeah.
businesses, yeah.
Yeah, that
Very
is
cool.
small world that we were.
That's weird.
Literally.
So they put two different wigs on me
Oh,
did-
for the
did?
show. Yeah.
Oh, wait, I saw you tease that on. Now you have an Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally.
She was so happy
I
when
was
she
so
saw
excited.
it.
I was like follower number 12.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. But yeah, we
Of
saw.
the 15 that are following you.
That's not true.
Just wait till the word gets out.
Yeah.
So like, but yeah, we saw you, playing around with it. We had no clue that that's what that was for.
Yeah, it was very disconcerting.
so
Like, they put this dark wig, like really like realistic looking wig on.
Yeah.
It felt like Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just
Wow,
like,
Ronald Reagan.
it just does not look right.
That's so funny. Did you get to see a show or were you
I
just
did.
like-
I went and saw Aida.
Oh, so
Oh, we did.
we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
How did you like it?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Right?
Amazing.
Oh my God.
The ending.
And it was very intimate. I mean, here's a
Super.
2,500 seat opera house.
Yeah.
That's this like 2-person intimate
Literally.
scene.
Yeah. That was.
I love that they don't have balconies on the sides. I love that everyone's just facing forward. It's so special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at us digress from.
know. I'm sorry.
This is it's
Yeah.
such a. I'm just mind blown that we were just there. And
That's
Yeah.
kind of weird.
yeah, we were just there in the
Yeah.
same area. But tell us, so like when I believe it's out now.
Is it the 16th or the
16th,
15th?
April 16th is
Yeah.
when. So this will be on after April 16th.
This will be
Yeah.
right before.
Right
So
before. April
you
15th.
can, if you're watching this on Monday,
Comes out April 16th,
Yeah, again, it comes out
7
Tuesday.
p.m. on WTTW and WTTW.com/Chicago Mysteries. You
Yeah.
can watch the whole show there.
And if you have the PBS app, you can like watch it on
Yes.
there too. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. And if you're a member, you get Passport, which opens up more options on the PBS app. But
Yeah.
you can watch all the PBS shows and all of my shows.
Yes.
Stream them on
You
the
should.
PBS
They're
app.
Yes.
like so special.
like honestly, you can listen to us. We've done a lot of documentation, but like take it from
Yeah.
Geoffrey
And
Baer.
you like get to go to all these.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so cool.
Well, that's one of the things I've been saying to people, especially when we've been doing this Chicago Works project, which that doesn't come out till December.
Okay.
so-
Okay.
But it's a little bit the same with you. I
Yeah.
mean, it's our job to go places where you're not allowed to go.
Right. So we
right.
can
And
show you what
show it to
yeah,
you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Tangible.
Yeah,
instead
like
of-
that's our job.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how
What a fun
about,
job.
that's so cool.
Yeah, this
it's
is
so
the greatest job that I've ever had.
Yeah, for
Like,
real.
Is it to be able to see these behind the scenes things and how they work and hear these stories from the people is just amazing.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, for real. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We got to get you on here a couple more times so you can take the lead. 5 is the most appearances by one person.
Okay.
We'll see you in December.
Yeah, right.
I'll be there for you.
Yeah. But thank you again, and thank you
Get us
the
out of
whole
this
house.
devil baby house.
I know, right? You're right. I kind of want to see now. Like
So she's up in the attic. They'll take you up there. It's pretty gross.
God. No.
I guess it's like second floor too. Like anyway.
It's way up there.
It's
The
way up.
attic is really kind of creepy up there.
Well, maybe we'll go. So, thank you again.
Yeah.
Jeff.
My pleasure.